Hello, Mathew the Apostle. According to the Gospels, Matthew was a first-century Galilean, presumably born in Galilee, which was not part of Judea or the Roman Judea province, the son of Alphaeus. As a tax collector, he would have been illiterate in Aramaic and Greek. His fellow Jews would have despised him for what was seen as collaborating with the Roman occupation force. After his call, Matthew invited Jesus home for a feast. On seeing this, the scribes and the Pharisees criticized Jesus for eating with tax collectors and sinners. This prompted Jesus to answer, "I came not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance." The New Testament records that as a disciple, he followed Jesus and was one of the witnesses of the ascension of Jesus. Afterwards, the disciples withdrew to an upper room. The disciples remained in and about Jerusalem and proclaimed that Jesus was the promised Messiah. Later, church fathers such as Irenaeus and Clement of Alexandria claim that Matthew preached the gospel to the Jewish community in Judea before going to other countries. Ancient writers are not in agreement as to which these other countries are. The Roman Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church each hold the tradition that Matthew died as a martyr, although this was rejected by Heraclian, a Gnostic Christian, viewed as a heretic, as early as the 2nd century. The Gospel of Matthew is anonymous. The author is not named within the text, and the subscription, according to Matthew, was added sometime in the 2nd century. The tradition that the author was a disciple Matthew begins with the early Christian bishop Papias of Hierapolis, who is cited by the church historian Eusebius as follows. Matthew collected the oracles in the Hebrew language, and each one interpreted them as best he could. On the surface, this has been taken to imply that Matthew's Gospel itself was written in Hebrew or Aramaic by the Apostle Matthew and later translated into Greek, but nowhere does the author claim to have been an eyewitness to events, and Matthew's Greek reveals none of the telltale marks of the translation. Scholars have put forward several theories to explain Papias. Perhaps Matthew wrote two Gospels, one now lost in Hebrew, the other a Greek version, or perhaps the Loia was a collection of sayings rather than a gospel, or by dialecti. Papias may have met meant that Matthew wrote in the Jewish style rather than in the Hebrew language. The consensus is that Papias does not describe the Gospel of Matthew as we know it, and it is generally accepted that Matthew was written in Greek, not in Aramaic or Hebrew. Thank you.